Hi guys, welcome back. Thanks for coming back. If you're back, welcome. If you are new, I do general readings for the collective. Typically they are for the signs of Pisces, Cancer, Leo, Aries, Gemini, could be Libra, but yeah, basically anything and everything. Check out your chart. Hopefully you know all your placements so you know if I'm speaking to you or not. Even if you don't know any of your chart placements, if you're here, I'm probably speaking to you. There is probably a message, even if it's just a song that I mention or a movie that I mention. Who knows? But typically there's a message for you if you are here, if you felt inclined to watch this video. So I'm going to do some of my cleansing rituals. I haven't done any readings yet this weekend. Been busy trying to transition into a new role at my job, so it's taking a little bit of time to get used to new routines and trying to get everything done at the house with the kids and stuff so I can go into the work week and all of that just better and more prepared. So I'm going to do this shits real quick. There was a new moon. What's today? The 18th? Yeah, new moon in Libra yesterday. There's still time to do your releasing rituals if you haven't. Sowing. This is sowing season, not reaping. We are evaluating what we planted that didn't come to harvest that we expected to, what we planted that did, obviously, and then collecting that harvest. And now is the time to figure out what you want in your garden next and figure out your next steps and your plans and set your intentions and release anything that could be potentially holding you back from reaching these things. So if you haven't done that yet, what I like to do is find a bay leaf. You can find them at any grocery store. They're just like in the herb section, seasoning section. But get whole ones and then write what you're wanting to release on the front and then burn it, and make sure you burn it completely. If you have access to a fire pit, I suggest doing it that way because they burn the most completely that way instead of just inside of your house. That's a little bit dangerous, and some people are like, when they hold it, they freak out and like drop it. For one, it's dangerous as shit. Don't do that. For two, it also causes, you could drop it in a way that causes the fire to go out, and then shit doesn't completely burn, so you have to like take it back out and redo it. So if you have access to a fire pit or a fireplace even, and it's fireplace season for sure if you're in the northern hemisphere like I am, fireplace and fire pit season is all year round in my opinion, but I love fire. So yeah, if you have releasing candles that you have been fixing, or you bought a fixed candle for releasing or letting go of old habits, pathway opening, anything like that, light it, let it burn, don't blow it out, obviously. I mean, you know the rules of fixed candles. If you don't, ask the person that you bought it from, or Google how to fix and use fixed candles, or intention candles, or road opening, whatever the intention is. And people call them all different things. I call them fixed candles because you fix an intention into it. And then when you light that candle, it releases that intention, whether that is to bring you closer to your goals and release anything that is holding you back from that. Where's my little, oh, there it is. Are they in here? Sorry, I just realized I didn't have this deck out, and I would like to start using at least one of these per reading, because I do really like them so far. And then a Becky Campbell, Work Your Light, oracle. I still really like these, but these might end up as a raffle or a gift to someone soon. I might take them to work and let people there utilize them, add them to my library that I'm trying to set up at work for people, resources and books that have impacted my life, and then obviously books that I still read every day that I want in my office with me. So yeah, I'm going to start with this Work Your Light Oracle deck, and then I'll probably do one from Fairy Tale Lenormand, Lenormand, artwork by Lisa Hunt, written by Arwen Lynch. I don't like that last name. So far, I've had it about a week. Actually, exactly a week. I got it last Saturday. I like it so far, but I don't. And I do really like fairy tales and myths and legends and Celtic lore, folklore, all of the things that stories that have been written and passed down and told and retold and reimagined. But I feel like this particular deck is a little too white for me. If that upsets you, I honestly don't care. It's just where I'm at in my journey. I am kind of overseeing the same people in the same roles, doing the same thing, telling the same stories, and it being a little white girl who gets cursed by an evil, wicked witch who's old and bitter and haggard and whatever else, and she's doomed to sleep forever until a prince kisses her or some shit. Like, I'm just so over it. I'm over love and need for love and attention being the center of everything. I am so over it. What if, like, we need to teach our kids that they need to be the center, not finding someone to complete them or getting married or any of those things. I want my kids to take all of that energy that they would put into finding a perfect partner or being the perfect partner or becoming a perfect wife, spouse, whatever. I want them to take all that energy and put it into making themselves better and finding their passions and honing in on those passions and skills and knowing themselves. And then if love happens to come along, cool. Like, accept it and embrace it and enjoy it. But don't make it the focus of every goddamn thing. It's just so tired. All right. Warrior Woman is the card that we got for Work Your Light. If you weren't afraid, what would you do? That's a good question. I'm not afraid of anything except for letting my kids down, but I've already done that, so I'm kind of over that too. So I would say I am not afraid of anything, and I'm kind of doing what I would do if I wasn't afraid. Starting a YouTube channel, that's one of the things that was on my list. What would you do if you weren't afraid? Weren't afraid of being ridiculed or ostracized or made fun of. Yeah, starting a YouTube channel, doing this, being a voice, being a guide for people. And then we got mirror. Who or what is triggering you? Often we have people in our lives, whether it's parents, siblings, spouses, partners, friends, children, that mirror us and point out the parts in ourselves that we don't like. So if you have a partner or a friend or a family member who is calling you chubby or poking you in the tummy and any or all of those things that aren't okay, are they pointing to something that you don't like in yourself that you would like to fix? Maybe you do feel a little bit chubby and you want to get a little bit more toned up. So dig into that feeling. If someone is able to trigger you in a way by calling you ugly or pointing out your yellow teeth or whatever it is that you don't like about yourself, either fix it or come to terms with it being part of you. Don't let people, or yourself mostly, use your flaws against you. Because when you have identified all of these things that could be considered flaws, and come to terms with them and fix the ones that you don't like, obviously, for yourself, not anyone else, not to shut anyone up or to prove anything it's simply for yourself. So if you have chosen to take on a new routine so you could like what you see when you look in the mirror instead of tearing yourself apart Kudos to you for doing that. Stick with it. And I absolutely wholeheartedly believe that when we do things for ourselves and no one else, the benefits are beyond anything that we could have ever expected. All right, and then we got Garden came out from the fairy tale Lenormand. This is a card of opening your heart and letting love in and sharing your garden, your lady garden. Just joking. I know not all of you are ladies. I don't really care what your genitals are. This is letting someone into your sacred space and opening yourself back up to the possibilities, into the newness, and watering yourself and watering others. But in this deck, the story that is behind it is the giant who doesn't ever let anyone into his garden, and so it's like dead and decrepit, and everything in there is like crusty and busty all year round. There's never, the flowers don't ever bloom, the trees, the birds don't ever sing, because this giant let kids in once and they ruined the whole thing. So he's like, fuck all of you, closing the gates. Kind of like Willy Wonka. But then one brave little kid crawls under the fence and starts having fun again, and the flowers start blooming because that child's laughter opens the giant's heart again, and he's like, oh shit, this is possible, and it doesn't have to hurt, and it doesn't have to be like last time. So this could be you realizing that you are capable of loving again, and you deserve love again, whether that's from friends, family, co-workers, lovers obviously fall into that if that's your thing. Remember to drink lots of water. Do your best to meditate if you can, even if it's not like, people put a lot of stipulations and regulations on what meditation is. Just quieting your mind, focusing on your breath. That's the best way to do it. Just focus on I'm going to try to focus on that. 4 in, hold for 4, 8 out. Counting is a good way to focus your energy. I know they use that in like anger management when you're about to lose your cool or flip your lid. You're supposed to like count backwards from 10 or some shit. I don't know. But it's the same energy, the same intention. Slow your breath, slow your heart rate mostly. De-escalate yourself if you're feeling a little bit anxious or whatever else, wound tight. If your heart is racing, if you're panting out of breath, it could be from anxiety, or you're just winded from walking up a flight of stairs. Whatever. I get winded a lot, mostly because I'm talking, and then I start getting anxiety, and that anxiety builds to where I like I can't catch my breath. Whether that's my own anxiety or the anxiety that I'm picking up from other people around me. Sometimes it's excitement. Sometimes I get so excited about things, saying things, and talking about things that I like get worked up and I don't know, forget to breathe or some shit. But if you haven't practiced your stillness and your mindfulness and your breath work, oh my god, these are the same cards. Am I not shuffling these? I don't understand. These are the same. Okay, I'm going to stop there. I'm not going to take the whole deck. So, garden, clover, ship, lilies I've actually never gotten, and ring. And then lady was on the bottom. So, you could be taking a trip to a botanical garden on the 25th, 30th, 2nd, 3rd, 20th. I mean, these are all relatively close dates. You could be traveling overseas for the first time, and when you get there, or you could be traveling with a loved one, maybe your partner who is going to propose, because we've got a ring again, but this is also the genie the story of Aladdin and rubbing the lantern and a genie coming out and granting you 20 wishes, 26 wishes, 3 wishes, whatever it is. And then lilies. I'm actually going to read about lilies, but in the meantime, lilies could be significant to you. All of the numbers on these cards, I'm not going to read them all out because there's a lot. You could see them. If you can't, if you're just listening to them and not looking, take a second to look if you can. If you're driving on your way to work, I think that's an excellent use of time. Thank you for using that time wisely and receiving messages and meditating. Oh, my deck is upside down. And meditating and using that time for intention instead of talking on the phone, listening to the radio, listening to content that you don't necessarily agree with. But I use my drive because I have about a 45-minute, sometimes an hour plus commute to work every day. So I use that time. For one, it's my son's nap time, which is nice. But also, it's kind of annoying that the only time he sleeps is the time when I'm in the car. Like, I can't use the time that he's asleep to get work done or clean or anything like that. But we figured out a routine that works. And he actually is letting me do shit like clean and work while he's awake. So that is nice. It's a nice thing about kids getting a little bit older. He'll be 4 in May. So he's finally at a place where he understands, like, hey, when mommy's door is closed, it means I'm working. And if you interrupt, it means I have to stop what I'm doing and take my attention away from what I'm doing and the people I'm doing it for and put it on you. And this isn't the time for that. So, like, respecting boundaries and me being firmer with my boundaries. That could be a theme for you right now. Identify, establish, and then reinforce, right? You need to identify what your boundaries are, maybe by going through processes that put you in situations like, hey, I don't like this. Okay, that's one of my boundaries. No shoes in my house. Another boundary, don't walk in when my door is closed, or knock first, or get my attention in a way that's not just interruptive and just disruptive. And so what was it? What did I just say? Establish, identify, establish. So you identified them. Now you need to establish them with the people in your life. Set those rules and notify everybody and keep notifying them, reminding them if they need to. Post them outside of your door, on your wall, in your cubicle, wherever. And then reinforce. When people cross them, like, hey, I know we've talked about this before, but this is it again. This is my boundary. You just crossed it. Don't do that again, or I'm going to have to take the next step. And what's the next step? I don't know, but usually it's a little bit more aggressive, and not everybody likes that. So the lily is the king of spades, which I think is air. You could be, don't take my word for that though, so I'm not even going to say that. But lilies could be significant to you. That could be your name. You could have a friend whose name is Lily. It could be your child's name. That's really cute though. The story behind the ship, and then obviously Clover's, Thumbelina. So read about Thumbelina and her story, her journey, her spirit. 4-leaf clovers could be a thing for you. You could see them a lot. That could be one of your signs from your guides, from someone who's passed, a loved one. You could be going on a trip, taking a ship in actual, like, sea travel to see the world. A trip around the world via boat. That sounds like a lot of fun. With your friend named Lily. Your partner named Lily who might propose. All of your wishes coming true. That's really sweet. A lady named Lily. Because there's the lady. Oh, can you see her? Nope. Well, whatever. I took that so I would have even cards, but whatever. That's not how I do things anyways. I'm trying to, like, do things symmetrical and, like, super straight. but that's just not how I am. I'm a little bit chaotic, but it's ordered. I like everything to be in its place. I like everything to have a place, and I like it to be put back in its place. That helps things run more smoothly. If you don't have to search for things when you need them, if they're just where the fuck they're supposed to be every single time because you take the time to put them back and you've taken the time to organize and find a place for everything, or everything is just easily falling into place, your world looks like it's just kind of opening up to you and falling into place and just organized gracefully. Seven of Wands came out as well. I don't know if you guys, again, if you don't have visuals, the Seven of Wands is here. The world came out together. The Seven of Wands is overcoming. It is determination and boundless focus and a really focused, determined, fiery, passionate, overcoming. He's like yielding he's got all of these wands. And he's wielding them in a really constructive and graceful and confident, overcoming way. This could be you overcoming things that are perceived as obstacles, whether you perceive them that way and you've labeled them that way, or someone in your life, or just people from the outside looking in, like, oh, shit, you've overcome a lot, and you're just like, well, sure, it's my life. It is what it is. I hate that saying, but all right, let's see what else. What is this in relation to? Love, meh. Career, passion, hobbies. What are some other things? What is there besides career? I get kind of stuck there in money and abundance and sustenance and passion and family. That's my focus. So that's kind of where it ends for me. If you guys have topics that you want me to focus on, let me know in the comments. I don't know what you guys want until you verbalize it. Closed mouths don't get fed. So if you have something like, ugh, I wish you would talk about something else, anything else, okay, cool, let me know in the comments. I'm like, all right, I'll talk about whatever it is. Love. This could be a love reading. I just said proposal, ring, luck. Women, you've got a lot of women. Lady, warrior woman. This could be you stepping into a new role in the workplace. Using all of your previous lessons and obstacles to now create a new world around you. The sun kept wanting to come out, but it's here. This is you. Letting the sun warm your skin. Taking a minute to soak it all in. This could be speaking to you needing to get some vitamin D. If you know what I mean. I mean more sun. Get outside. Warm your face. See the world. Travel the world. What is holding you back? What would you do if you weren't afraid? Would you travel by yourself if you weren't worried about being attacked or mugged or any of the things that we're told to worry about? Would you explore freely? We watched Mulan, the new one, for like the second time. My son watched it, but I like turned it on while I was cleaning or something, so I didn't actually sit down and watch it. But we kind of sat down and watched it last night. And Mulan is she's a warrior woman. She's told her whole life she needs to learn how to be a good wife and make herself presentable to a man. And what man is going to want a woman who wields a sword and chases chickens on the roof and just moves effortlessly and has courage? Like, that's the storyline, right? But what person wouldn't want that as a partner? I would feel a lot safer if I had Mulan next to me in my bed. Or if I embodied that energy, if I could yield a sword like that. Maybe you've always wanted to learn the way of the samurai or learn how to work a sword in a protective or yeah, protective warrior fashion. Maybe you're traveling the world to gain more knowledge to these things. Open up to different cultures. Learn things about people. Don't be afraid of people that are different than you. Oh my god. I can't. Oh my gosh. He doesn't understand. I tell him over and over and over, don't jump around and dig around when I'm in here working. For one, it's loud, and I don't like the thudding because it breaks my concentration. But also, you're gonna fucking hurt yourself when I'm in here. Like, chill, dude. That's all you gotta do. Just relax a little bit. But he's 3, and he's a Gemini, so that's not a thing for him. He doesn't know what sit still means, because it's like endless, endless, endless. 3 of Cups came out. It's a card of reciprocity, and it's a card of love, and your kind of your nest. It's like a housewarming party kind of feeling, like it feels like you've reached a pentacle. Sorry, that's not what I meant to say, but yes, you've reached kind of a plateau in your life, like an achievement that you've always wanted, some sort of emotional stability. Maybe you've bought your first home, your first building, your first property, your first plot of land, your first something, your first car, and you're picking people up and going for a cruise. You could be going on an actual cruise, because we do have a ship here. Give me just a second. What are you doing? Stop doing this when I'm working. What are you doing? I need a soundproof room or something, or a babysitter. Like, it's going on half an hour. That is kind of a long time. I like to keep these around 20 minutes for that very reason. He loses his patience, I guess, to sit still after about 25, 30 minutes. But also, I have a 14-year-old that's out there that could easily be like, hey, let's calm the fuck down so mom can get shit done. Otherwise, we won't get to eat, okay? Like, pitch in a little bit, help out a little bit. Alright, 3 of Cups. I already talked about that enough, I think. But the imagery, even in and of itself, you could be going on a trip with your 3 siblings, your 2 siblings. You could be the 3rd. You could be going on a trip with your parents. You could be going on a trip with your 2 children, your partner and a child. 3s could be significant to you in some way or another. But this is a really emotionally fulfilling, emotionally giving, loving energy. Because all of the cups are full. And there's 3 individual hands. You can't really tell because they're all the same color. Again, more whiteness. But if these were all different colors, like green and purple and pink, and they were all flowing into each other, but it's an overflowing energy and reciprocal. They're all intertwined, and they're all giving the same amount, and they're all getting the same amount out of it. Alright, let's see what this is. Nope. I was going to ask who we're becoming, or what we're stepping into, or the energy that we're embracing now, but it's already here. What else? What else do we need to know? What other messages do we have? Switch decks? Okay, done. But on the bottom of this deck is the star. Sorry, I was holding that really weird. The star is Aquarius energy. You could have Aquarius in your chart, but more likely you are the star of the fucking show. This is Leo energy. You could have Leo in your chart. You could be attached to a Leo in some way. So Leo and Aquarius. And then Cancer, Pisces energy here. All right. Aries as well, I feel. Again, these are all placements that you could have predominantly in your chart, highly aspected, if you will. Whoa. What the fuck? All that to get a card? Like, it's not that serious. I'm just joking. That was a lot, though. Like, take it down a notch. Alright, the star. Again. So we've got the sun and the star in the world. You could be becoming famous pretty quickly. You could be blowing up. You could be going viral, worldwide sensation. It could be one of your children that this is happening to. It could be someone in your surroundings, and you by proxy the world is opening up to you, kind of by proxy, if you aren't the actual star of the show, but it feels like you are, because I'm speaking to you. This is your energy. This is the energy that's coming to you, for you. It is you. What else? The star, the world, the sun, Seven of Wands, warrior woman, clover, garden, ship, lily. Your dream could be to own a fleet of ships, to start your own cruise line. Something as crazy as that. Like, maybe you have all the entertainment lined up in your head, all of the people that are going to teach. You know how Abraham Hicks does cruises? You could be wanting to do something like that, but incorporate more experience into it, more food. Like, you have a certain chef that you have in mind. You have a certain staff that you want to employ, a certain route that you want to take, certain areas that you want to explore, certain entertainment that you want to provide and employ. Yeah, it could be a whole vision that you've got. All right, let's see what came out. The Mother of Wands and the Daughter of Swords. Okay, so we've got Queen of Fire, so Aries, Leo, Sag energy, feminine fire, which would be, what's the most feminine of the fire? They all read really masculine to me, so Leo maybe would be the most feminine of the fire. And then Daughter of Swords, this is air energy, younger air energy, feminine, younger air. It doesn't have to be age. They don't have to be young in age. They could be, but they could be young at heart. This could be you embracing a more lighthearted, less cynical, less cutting, but also really mentally sharp and clear. Air is Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. They're all about their intellect. They're very witty. They're very funny. They're very smart. They're geniuses, if you will. And this is a younger, you could have an air sign child, a child with air predominantly in their chart. But again, I feel like this is you. I read these all as your guys' energy, our energy, my energy. Because again, I mostly read for myself, but it just happens to be something that I feel like a lot of other people could use. So that's why I broadcast it and put it out there for people to consume, because I want it to resonate with other people, and hopefully there's messages for, even if it's just one other person. That's enough for me. And if you are someone who has already sent me something from my Amazon wish list, sent me a gift, whatever it is, everything that's on that list is something that would improve my life, my children's lives, the people that I work with. I sometimes add stuff because I do manage people now, and I would like to improve their lives as well. So it could be like a Keurig or something. I don't use a Keurig, but coffee maker, or something for my office, books for my office, and then obviously tarot decks for this channel, because everything that I get from this channel I put right back into it. More Aries energy. There's big Aries energy, big Aries Leo energy here. But the Fool, this is taking the leap of faith. It's asking that question, if I had no fears, and if I knew that I would succeed at anything I did, what would I do? And this is taking that leap and moving toward it in a really passionate, powerful way. You've got the Mother of Wands here. That is entrepreneurial, but in the receptive way, in the reflective, because feminine energy is reflective and receptive, right? Male energy is the doing and the action part of it, in the like, I don't know, whatever the opposite of receiving is, giving, I guess. But that's not, I don't know, I don't like that, because mothers are typically the givers and the nurturers and the lovers and the caretakers, while the fathers are the providers and the stability and the discipline. You could be coming in contact with your divine partner, your divine counterpart, in a work aspect even. You know how people say their work husband or their work wives? I don't necessarily like that saying, especially if you are an actual married person. Like, that's not a good feeling for the person that you're actually married to hear that you've got a gym wife, or a work wife, whatever wife, who isn't your actual wife. But it could be, I'm saying it could be that energy of you coming in contact with a divine counterpart who could be a business partner. It could be someone who is absolutely, completely platonic, you have absolutely no attraction to, but in the workspace, they're your divine counterpart. Whether you like them or not, this feels like they are a good balance for you. This could be you having a role, and then you having a person that is your counterpart who is also in that role, but a different role, if that makes sense. Like, there's a job that requires two people, and you're one side of the coin, and then you've got a partner that is on the other side of that coin. It could be your best friend, your best work friend, your best friend at work. It could be someone of the same sex. It could be someone of the opposite sex, but who is into the same sex as you, if that makes sense. So if you're a cis woman, it could be a gay man. Does that make sense? Like, they're, I don't know. Anyway. This could be you stepping into a new role that is like a secretary or an assistant to a divine masculine. They could be the fatherly energy, and you're now bringing that motherly energy to the operation in whatever aspect. You could be the only female or one of the only females in this operation, especially in management. But you're bringing a really fiery, passionate, driven, feminine energy that is stable. Alright, that wanted to come out more than once because I saw it and it flipped. So this is the Eight of Cups. This is Cancer energy. This is kind of self-stagnation, keeping yourself stuck in kind of a mucky, murky area. It could be sadness. It could be illness. You could be holding on to some stuff that's making you sick. You could be coming out of an illness, telling your story about it, and becoming famous, and in turn inspiring a lot of people. And there's an idea or a theory that the more people you help, the more money or more prosperity and abundance will come to you. So like singers and actresses, because they give so much to other people and inspire people in such a big way. That's why they are, in turn, so financially abundant, multimillionaires typically. And then you got the Emperor, which is more Aries energy. But the Emperor is the King of Kings. This could be your divine counterpart that I was just talking about in the workplace, in the office, in a partnership, business endeavor, new business endeavor. But Emperor, he's the King of Kings. This could be you building your empire. You are the Emperor and the Empress and all of the kings and all of the queens. You are divine masculine and divine feminine. You've somehow figured out, maybe you're a single parent and you figured out how to be both parents, and you do it really well. You are the disciplinary, but you're also the nurturer. You have to keep your kids in line because there's no one else to do it, but you also have to love them because there's no one else to do it. You have to provide for them because there's no one else to do it, but you also have to be a stay-at-home mom and the homeschooler because there's no one else to do it. But you've somehow figured out how to do it all. And then the Two of Swords. This is, again, kind of a stagnant, like a stalemate energy. Like you've got two swords that are meeting with the same force, and they're pushing against each other with the same amount of energy that they can't get anywhere. Like one has to be released so one can strike, right? It's like holding two things up, and one person holding two things up. I wish I had two swords or something, two knives to hold. Let's use these little wands. Sticks. They're my scent sticks. They're supposed to, well, they are in scent. But it's like, see how like if I push against each other with the same force, I'm not going to get anywhere. I have to let one kind of go so this one can move forward and do its thing, or move this one back so I can like pew, 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 do the things and cast my spells and like, but if I'm pushing against them with the same force, that's not going to do anybody any good. It's just kind of a stalemate. So this is about making a decision which wand or which sword, which whatever you're going to yield, which way you're going to go so you can move past this stalemate energy. You could have just had a good idea about something because the two comes right after the ace, right? Ace is a striking light bulb moment. You could have had your light bulb moment and now, sorry, I don't know why I stack these on top of each other when I have all the room in the world to spread it out. I'm trying, guys. It's more about the message than what's on the table, right? I'm going to do that like that because those don't need to be out. Because we're moving away from this. This is you making a decision and moving out of a stalemate energy into putting in the work with the passion. So, like I was saying, it's the Ace of Swords, your good idea, and then you have a decision to make, like, do I get there by taking this path? Do I put my efforts and energy in this? Or do I put my efforts and energy in this? And yes, you can put it in both. Like, I'm gonna keep this one and put a lot in it, and I'm gonna keep this one for practice or whatever, and you can yield two swords at once, right? You've got two hands. You can make, that can be your decision. I'm gonna do both. Because you can do it all, and you can do it all very well, but you cannot do it all at once, right? You have to prioritize and make decisions about what's important right now. Maybe taking a promotion at work was important for you, but your ultimate dream is to own companies and not work for people, right? You don't want to have to answer to anybody. You want to be the one making the shots. But for right now, you've found a role where you call the shots and you call them really well from your level. That could be like kind of the bottom of the totem pole in terms of hierarchies. Like you could be a soup, but you could be on the lowest rung, like the newest one, right? But you can still, you're still above, not above as in better than, but you are still the one who is delegating to people, right? But you're not like the CEO or the CFO or even a manager of whatever. You still have lots of people to answer to and lots above you, but the role that you're in is really suited for you. It's kind of a perfect place for you right now. but because you've made that decision. You made the decision to go for it, and now you've got it, and you're doing it all really, really well. Keep going. Keep your eye on whatever your prize is, whether that's fame and fortune, and it looks like it might be, whether that's love, getting engaged, traveling the world, channeling your inner warrior woman, having your luck change. Maybe you've been kind of down on your luck and you would like it to change. It is, if that is the case. I would say you've been pretty lucky. You were born lucky. You will always be lucky if you believe in luck. I don't. I believe in the universe, in divine timing, in divine orchestration and intention. And everything that I have been through and am going through and have accomplished and have failed at is because I wrote that in my story. That's what it comes down to. All the people that I've lost along the way, all of the illnesses that I've been through personally, I wrote that shit in my script. Like, this is how it's going to go. And then once we come through this, once we move out of it, this is what we move into. And it's really good, and it's a really good story. So keep telling your story, keep using your voice, keep sharing your voice, keep amassing more. And the better it gets, guys. All right? So I'll see you later. Bye.